My research is on issues related to historical memory in Japan and broader East Asia. So I'm interested in how people understand their relationship to the past through a range of different processes, like tourism, heritage, visual art, and associated things. My current project is looking at the emergence over the last couple of decades in a boom in interest in ruins. People going to these sites as a way to kind of make sense of the past and how it relates to their own experience, and also to imagine what kind of futures they might want to create in societies that they live in.
So I researched the colonial cinema of Japan. I look at how the cinema of the region was both conceived inside the Japanese nation, but also in its colonial territories. So for example, I look at how films such as this, products made in the 1930s in Korea, were circulated inside the empire, but also the impact they had on the popular culture of that particular period. I spent several years doing this, and I've received AHRC and British Academy grants to do so. Spent many years in cinematic archives across the whole of East Asia, and this has actually culminated my recent book, which is called Divine Work: Japanese Colonial Cinema and Its Legacy.
I work on China, and my research explores the stories that people tell about themselves, and that might be in diary or autobiography, might be oral history, these days it might even be manga. And the thing that intrigues me about these is the challenge that people face in making sense of their own pasts and trying to knit that into some kind of a bigger picture. And that might be the picture of their hometown, it might be the picture of a nation, of China as a whole. But I think the thing that I'm really trying to get at the moment is that question of who gets to build a history, whose voice gets heard as those bigger histories are made.
My PhD project is about sexuality, illness and stigma in South Korea. And what I'm looking at is how stigmatization materializes and actualizes in society. So through people's behaviors, through understandings, through different texts, for example, newspapers, official documents like public health policy, how people understand HIV-related stigma in South Korea, and how that different kind of discrimination and stigmatization, how it, in a way, materializes. I'm trying to map that context.
My PhD project is about film theory and philosophy. I want to explore how audiences perceive a set idea in a Chinese film. It's very based on the Chinese culture and the Chinese philosophy. And I don't use a Western theory to explain a Chinese situation, but I interlink a Chinese film theory and a Western affect theory.
My research is on pre-modern Japanese poetry competitions and criticism. It's an important topic because poems were how people in the 11th century communicated with each other, both in terms of everyday social interaction, but also through expression of feelings of love and emotions like that. So it's a window onto the emotions of the people of a long time ago, but equally a way of seeing similarities between people of a different and alien culture and us today.
The School of East Asian Studies is a great mix of social scientists and humanities and arts-based scholars. And in our cluster, we tend to group together those people who work with text, with visual art, with humanistic methods. And what that's done is allowed us to really grow that part of the department's work. We've got exciting scholarship happening across literature, film, history, and cultural studies, and it really is going from strength to strength.